Hello, Michael Madden back here for Macastel. Back here with an incredible camera, another rare, beautiful camera that is about as Art Deco as it gets. This is a Cinex, C-I-N-E-X, manufactured by Bourdereau, right in the center of Paris. It's going to be a real pleasure for me to talk about this and show you this camera loaded. This was one of the first handheld, lightweight, professional cameras for reportage, newsreel, or aerial work, but was used in the professional film world as well. It can be put on a tripod, just like this. So I'm going to do a walk around and show you everything about it. Stick around. First thing I want to do with this incredible camera is do a little walk around. This is the left side, pretty plain, but this is how you turn this knob and open the inside, which we'll get a close-up of afterwards while I load it for you. Back of the camera here is where your magazine attaches. The pulleys here, the spring right here is a rising viewfinder that coincides with the front viewfinder. Goes up and down there. On the front, which is really neat. Simple film punch, still works. And these lenses come right out when I show you inside the camera. And you can adjust by hand with a small flathead screwdriver anything you want. It's 150-degree shutter angle, wide open, by the way. This just slides into dovetail. You can change lenses, have lens boards made. This is fantastic. It's got a great lens. It's got a Cinex 1-inch lens, 25mm. These are great lenses. Now right here, you just put that there and it won't come out. Now this is the fun part. This is the right side. This is the flywheel, but you could also do single frame animation with it that way. Here, your regular 8-to-1. Now, the crank is easy. You unscrew it here, slides right off. This is an original crank to this camera. Everything on it's original. And here, this looks like this great antique stopwatch. And that's what basically it is. You have how many increments of 10 meters, how many increments of 100 meters, and how many frames. You can see here, every turn it goes 8 frames. And this thing flies. It just goes and goes. If you take the spring belt off, this thing is so well balanced. And the flywheel works great with the effect. And right here is a little lever that just resets all three at once. This is eye candy beyond eye candy. I'm going to do a close-up of this for you. And here this dial is in close-up. You can see it going. And resetting. So simple. Let me give you a close-up here of inside the camera. It's pretty basic, and what's great about it, it was their claim to fame about ease, is everything was on one sprocket, which a lot of the great cameras did. Now on the back here, you'll see here, the back wall here, the right wall, these two brass levers turn to loosen that magazine, and I'll show you that. And the mag just should come right off. There it goes. Now Cinex magazines are very easy to use. They're the displacement type, which means the feed and the take-up are in the same magazine, which they still use now. It's a great idea. Very simple to load right through the velvet light trap here, and then down to the other side. Very easy. Giving yourself enough room here, pulling the film out, and to wrap it around here. Put it on this side, and just wind it. It's really that easy. Make sure you're giving yourself a good loop, which we'll get to next. Putting the cover on is very, very simple. There's these clips here. Make sure you get them in right. They're clipped in, light tight. Okay, we're going to thread this. Now on the back is the opening that we put the loop through. Of course the pulleys go on this side. Pushes it right through. You line this up. Show you here. Now how this works, it's a little tricky with your fingers, but this keeper roller operates top and bottom. So what you want to do is you want to get enough film in to go underneath here. I said it's a little tricky. I'm going to turn the camera a little bit. Hang around the sprocket, pull it in. Now the gate just opens right up, just like that. And I'll explain something about that in a minute. Now what you want to do is move your single frame, making sure that you get in the sprocket holes correctly. And we got it in. It's a double, so it's a perfect registration. Now once you have those in, you close your gate. You open this again, make sure it's on the sprocket. Now you got to make sure that your loops are not, this is a little long, so we'll move it a little, give it an extra sprocket this way. Okay, now, let's see. None of the loops are hitting the top or bottom, beautiful. Now you put your spring belt on, wind it up, put your spring belt on, and you can see how simple that is. How easy that moves through. It moves film better than most cameras. Now, if you notice there was no lock on the clip, the door lock, not only does it lock the door keeping it light tight, it also keeps the gate closed. So once you're done with that, I would always wrap a foot around the film, then reset your gauges, get a few finders up, looking from here to here, and you are ready to roll. Cinex, Bourdereau. I want to say a few more words about this great camera. Bourdereau. The A stands for Alphonse. He introduced these cameras in 1920, but they were slightly different. They were all black, did not have an external magazine, but the rest pretty much was the same. It only held 20-meter magazines, two small ones inside. A few years later, we introduced another one that was very similar, that still held 20-meter magazines, but it was engine-turned, beautiful aluminum like this. But you had the option, if you wanted, to have an external 60-meter, 200-foot load on the back, if you wanted to. Then there's this model that did not have the internal mags. This is much better, and by then they had the motor attachment and the rheostat up to 28 frames a second. I can't say enough about this. I could describe it all day long, but I'm going to read you something in a minute. This is beautiful engine turning. A lot of it is still intact. It is, as an antique camera goes, this has everything. It has importance, it has ingenuity, and it was state-of-the-art at the time. Now I'm going to read you something because I could not describe this better. The first hand crank camera I ever saw was a Willard. I didn't know anything about cameras then. This is in 2000, 2001. Up on the public auction on April 12th in 2001, 19 years ago. This is what the seller of one of these types of cameras wrote. When I first set eyes on this 1925 Cinex camera made by Bourdereau of Paris, I was immediately reminded of a Bugatti engine. Beautifully machined in polished aluminum, replete with brass fittings, enamel, nickel plating, gauges, bevel gears, pulleys. I couldn't describe it better than that. But it does tell you something, how excited everybody gets when they see one of these. It's extremely rare. I know of half a dozen in the world. So valuable was this camera that a flat rate of about $8,500 was put on it about 30 years ago because they were just so hard to find. That was a lot of money then. This is a camera that will shoot gorgeous images today, and I can't wait to shoot with it because I'm going to. If you have any questions about it, I'm happy to discuss the history of this camera and any of the cameras on my site or that you've seen in videos. I like to spread the love, you know what I mean? So please enjoy this video as many times as you'd like. I enjoyed making it. And as usual, see you next time, and Iris out.